Understand ownership in its totality. It is very important to understand the way legal rights work in terms of the music industry. It's something that's very complex, and I don't want to go into it completely right now. Also because I honestly don't completely understand it in its totality, but I do want to go over something that is kind of critical, which is this aspect of having two different kinds of rights when a work of music is created, or sometimes called a record or a cut. One type of legal rights is called the master, and another is the songwriting. And so the songwriting aspect of it is who literally wrote the song, and then the master is the entity or the artist, but it's usually the entity that owns the master. And the master is comes from the times in which music was literally recorded. So one is the master, and the other ones are the slaves. It's really fucked up terminology, but it's in order to, this is how tech terminology comes into it. It's whatever is the original copy is the master. So whoever owns that has a huge percentage of the song, the rights of the song. And normally the artist does not own the master, it's the record label that owns the master. So this is where we get into this issue of, for example, Taylor Swift last week having a huge dispute with her manager, Scooter Braun, who owns her masters. So she automatically doesn't even own a huge chunk of the royalties that are coming in because of she doesn't own her own masters. And so this is something that's basic music industry theory that artists don't know about. And they often have lose a huge part of their legal rights because they don't know that you should try to always own your masters. So I mentioned Taylor Swift being one artist that does not own her own masters, and she's getting there's she's disputing this, but it's not rare that she doesn't own her own masters. In fact, most artists, even really huge commercial artists, aren't able to own their own masters. So I looked up some artists that do own their own masters. They include Jay-Z, Metallica, Iggy Azalea, Chance the Rapper, 21 Savage. So these are artists that have either been really smart or have had to fight to own their own masters, but regardless, they're people who have, along the way, learned that this is something that's really important. And so this is where we see ownership being not only being able to make money off the music, but able to actually own your own art, which is obviously really important. So what are some barriers? So let's go back to the map. What are some barriers that people in urban areas in the United States may face to reach the point of ownership? So I would argue that this includes, having a team to guide you so that you can know some of the legal aspects of the music industry, but also way up front, way before you even get to the point of distributing music. It's really having clout to access press opportunities, which it's really hard to get booked for venues if you don't have press. And this is part of the new digital age, working in a way that you really need to prove to others that you have clout in order to even get work opportunities. And so this is really difficult in the United States alone, and it becomes so much more complicated when an artist is of the global south.